good lead for them sleight of hand tricks. So I know what my good intent.
See, they named him that before I started driving this boat. We used to throw marshmallows in the water. We used to feed them back here. 20-something years we fed them marshmallows. The government bought the land, made it a preserve, and they stopped us from feeding them. We can't feed them anymore. But when a marshmallow went on the right side of his face, he couldn't get it. So one of our captains years ago named him No C. That's how he got his name, because he couldn't get the marshmallow. He had to be straight in front of him on his left side for him to get it. I've been driving this boat since June 18th of 1998. I've done this tour 15,000 times since 1998. That gator right there is probably about 70 years old. In 1998, when I started driving this boat, if that gator was not that size, he was really close to it. He had to grow something because they don't quit growing. They grow their whole eyes, but not enough for me to look at him and tell. He's a king. He's a dominant male back here. I'd like to know how old he is. There's no way of telling, but in my opinion, I'd say about 70 years old. I've been seeing him 26 years at 12 feet. That's the only thing I can tell you. In 26 years, I never saw one grow 8 feet in length, more or less 10, 12 feet in length in 26 years. Don't believe swamp people. Swamp people exaggerates. My 16-year-old daughter makes why I'm still seeing TV shows. And alligators do not wake up in the morning and put a bib on, a knife in one hand, a fork in the other hand, and look for humans. That's on TV. Kids swim in these waterways. My daughter would jump in right here. My daughter would go swimming right here, along with every single kid down here. When you hear someone getting attacked by an alligator, there's more to that story. It's not the alligator. It's human error. Whether somebody was provoking them, whether they were feeding them, whether they were too close to the nest of babies, or letting their dogs play in the water and then try to stop the alligator from getting their dog afterwards. That's what happened in Florida last year, happened in Florida the year before, and it happened in South Carolina a few years ago. And that case in Disney World maybe about 6 years ago, that's from people feeding that gator. There's more to that story. They always blame the alligator. They got to keep you watching those reality TV shows.